Welcome to Digital Hospitality. I'm your host, Shawn Walchef. This is a Cali BBQ media production. We are coming to you live from the National Restaurant Association show in Chicago. 55,000 restaurant professionals, 12 football fields, 4 days, 2,200 vendors. And we are at one of our favorite partners, which is Restaurant 365, who has graciously invited us to learn stories. So many people can't come to this show. That's why we do this content, so that people can learn about why they should come and all the cool things that are going on at the show. I have Amanda from Vicious Biscuits. Amanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Can you please tell us the Vicious Biscuit story?
Absolutely. So our concept is founded in Charleston, South Carolina in 2018. It was founded by two co-founders, Michael Greeley and George McLaughlin. George was a former McAllister's franchisee who was in the business for a long time and had gotten out of it, saw a really great review from a notoriously challenging critic within Charleston, which is a culinary epicenter, if you will. And it was about this catering company that had just started, had raved about this chef's, home chef's catering company with biscuits. And they were very unique biscuits. They were very large, very over the top. And so he reached out to him, got him in a test kitchen, and they developed the concept for about a year. The concept opened in 2018 with, frankly, lines out the door. It was just this viral following.
Really?
It is. So our name, our biscuits are vicious. They're huge. They're over the top. They're very indulgent creations. So we different proteins like fried chicken, fried shrimp. Everything is house-made inside, so quality is very important to us. House-made butters, jams. We have a jam bar in our restaurant, complimentary to all of our guests.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it took off with a viral following, but it's Charleston, and you have to remove that Charleston factor sometimes. So for proof of concept, we opened a second location in Summerville, South Carolina, right smack in the middle of COVID in 2020. Yep. And that one just took off just as well, lines out the door. Weekends, 20, 30 minutes down the line. People are so excited about the brand. They're excited about what we do, and it's not even just great food, it's an experience.
Yeah.
We're fast casual. So you order at the counter, and then we take care of the rest. And everything is built on hospitality. So once you sit down, we have bussers, runners, managers that touch tables and make sure that the guest needs are always met.
And you are the chief operating officer.
I am.
When did you start working with the brand?
I came into the brand in 2021 in an outsourced capacity.
Okay.
Actually was brought on to help them with Restaurant 365.
Really?
Yes.
Amazing. Tell me more.
So the brand had adopted Restaurant 365 right in the middle of COVID, but they didn't have anybody to really implement the software. So they kind of limped along. The implementation was a little bit challenging because they didn't have anybody in-house that really had any accounting or really technology experience.
Yeah.
And so about a year later, they were looking for a controller and somebody to help scale and build out Restaurant 365 ahead of the development of 4 new locations. So the brand at that time only had 2 right in Charleston, but they had signed leases on 4 more, and they wanted to utilize the software from a multi-unit perspective. So that's what I came into the brand to help with. So it took about 4 or 5 months to really get the systems, between the Toast integrations and really utilizing all of the features that the software had, because that has been what has been so valuable in expanding our concept as we have scaled not only corporate development, but into franchising now.
When did you first learn about Restaurant 365?
When I came to the brand. I had never seen the software before. I don't come from the restaurant industry.
Okay.
I do have a tech background.
How did they recruit you?
So I had moved to Charleston in 2020 before the COVID pandemic, and I was in the tech industry. I used to live in New York, so I came down here, stayed on with my company for about a year, and then was looking for something different. Never ever
Restaurants
thought
are very different.
I would end up in the restaurant business. Yeah. So I was working with a consulting company at that time who had just been speaking with George, our founder, about some outsourced solutions, and that's how I came into the brand. And then within about 5-6 months, I came onto the brand full time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories about what you've learned along the way?
Many.
Too many?
Many stories. What we have learned about our concept has been from Restaurant 365.
Really?
Yes. So you have to remember, we were opening restaurants amid the COVID pandemic, and then thereafter, costs were high, supply chain issues. We were also scaling into different states, even though our concept is based in Charleston. So even our food distribution, we had different distribution, different pricing. It was a really challenging time to really figure out, how do we get costs in line? Where can we make efficiencies as to scale? Because that's what we were looking ahead to, is how are we going to scale this concept for franchising? And Restaurant 365 has been the cornerstone of that, frankly. Just between how we have brought our food costs down, several points just over the last year and a half, just through accurate reporting, providing reporting to our restaurant managers so that they have accurate numbers when it comes to their end of period inventory, and trying to mitigate waste. Scheduling, we used to use hot schedules, 7 shifts. We brought all of that into one tech stack.
Yep.
That's really, for me, as we have scaled franchising, it's keeping that tech stack extremely limited.
Yeah.
We want to keep it so that we don't have all of these different integrations, all of these different software solutions that, frankly, most people don't know how to use. This is the restaurant industry. It's not a technology company. So
is there anything that surprised? What was the biggest surprise, not being in the restaurant and then coming in and looking at how restaurants are run? What was the biggest surprise for you?
So, having a tech background, that was probably my most significant challenge, was getting folks to utilize the software and the technologies that we had in-house. Our team, when I first came here, they were doing their, onboarding by hand. They were doing accounting invoices. They were hand keying everything. And frankly, we've completely disrupted the store level management.
Yeah.
They have so little administrative functions. We very quickly implemented the AP capture for that OCR technology. I mean, we have all of our items mapped. Everything is just real-time reporting. And that has been so beneficial. So while they generally do not like technology, our team really enjoys having that real-time reporting that helps them move the business forward. So, and just having everything together, from forecasting to scheduling to P&L management, they have that live data.
How do you stay ahead of the curve? How do you educate yourself?
Myself?
Yeah.
I read and listen to a lot. I try to, I come to these conferences for this purpose. I network a lot. I mean, that's probably the biggest surprise too, coming into the restaurant space. This is a very unique and concentric community. It's not, while it's competitive in nature, it's not. I find that people in this are always looking to help the business and the industry grow. And that's been really beneficial. No matter where I go, from other franchisors to conferences like this, to the restaurant transformation tour, everybody is always looking to provide ideas. I know we do it all the time. We're always collaborating with other concepts.
That's awesome. If somebody wants to learn more about franchising, where do they go?
They go to viciousbiscuit.com. They click on our franchise link.
And what is the best thing to order at viciousbiscuit.com?
My favorite biscuit at Vicious Biscuit?
Yeah.
It's our shrimp and grits. They're some of the best around.
Okay.
And/or our sea biscuit.
All right.
So.
And what's the best way for people to connect with you? Are you on LinkedIn?
Yes, I am on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll put a link in the show notes so that people can connect with you.
Wonderful.
If you guys want to connect with me, it's at Shawn P. Walchef, ShawnPWalchef. We want to hear your story. We also do LinkedIn live calls every Wednesday, every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So please join us on stage. Tell us about your restaurant. Tell us about your tech. If you're in sales or marketing, we've got a digital hospitality community of leaders all over the globe. As always, stay curious, get involved, and don't be afraid to ask for help. We'll catch you guys next week.